students. Today we will discuss the Harrod-Domar model of growth. Previously we have discussed the various growth models, just like classical growth models and Rostow growth model, Ranz and Fay growth model, Leys growth model, and on the series of growth models, now we are going to discuss the Harrod-Domar model. So for basically these are the two growth economists that gives the idea of growth theory in economics. So these both of them are two different economists, and differently they give their theory on growth economics, but the conclusion on both models are quite similar, so that's why this model is known as Harrod-Domar model. So in order to understand both models in a more clear way, so first we will discuss the Harrod model, and then we are going to discuss the Domar model. So first I will give you the introduction of both Harrod and Domar model. What is the Harrod-Domar model? The Harrod-Domar model is basically given during after the recession, after Great Depression, which is occurred during 1930 and during 1930s. So or during that time, this model has been given by Harrod and Domar. This model basically based on the Keynesian approach, and the model they have used in order to develop the growth theory. They use the Keynesian model of economic and employment in order to establish their theory. So the Harrod-Domar model is a Keynesian model of economic growth. The Keynesian model which they have used in order to establish their theory is known as income and employment model. Okay, there are different school of thought, as we have discussed earlier, that classical, new classical, Keynesians and new Keynesians. So in case of classical basically classical theory is basically based on in case of production side based on aggregate supply, and Keynesians theory basically based on aggregate demand. And Keynesians believed on short run, and because according to him, in the long run we all dead. And in case of classical, they believe on long run. So that's why they're in case of Harrod and Domar model, they actually use both aggregate demand. They get the idea of aggregate demand they get from the Keynesian approach, and the idea of aggregate supply they get from the classical side. So basically it is a basic idea, the basic fundamental theory that they have used is the Keynesians, but they also include the variable of aggregate supply in their model as well. So both of them done the same practice. That's why we call them Harrod-Domar model, although they are the different economists on growth economics, but because the things are quite similar, that's why this model usually known as Harrod-Domar model, and most of the people think that it is the same person who gave the idea of economic growth, but basically they are the two different people. They have give the idea. Okay, so the Harrod-Domar model basically it is used in development economics to explain and countries explain the economy's growth rate in terms of level of saving and capital. So basically the basic determinants of this model are saving and capital. So it suggests that there is no natural reason for an economy to have balanced growth rate. Okay, so the model was developed independently by Harrod 1939 and then Domar in 1946. Okay, before going through the Harrod-Domar model, I give you the brief introduction regarding the previous practice. Previous practice basically the growth economists have. So basically the growth model earlier Harrod and Domar model based on the static economics, or you can say comparative static. What is comparative static? Comparative statics means that you move from one stationary situation to another stationary position. Means we are comparing two comparative static positions. Okay, so comparative static tell us we basically comparative statics inform us or tell us that how we move from point A to point B, but it did not tell us that the movement from point A to B is steady or it has a fluctuation. So in case of dynamic models, dynamic models are required to analyze the changes that occur in between point A or B. Means in case of comparative static, they did not discuss the fluctuations in between point A and B, but in case of dynamic model, the dynamic model discuss the fluctuation that occurred when it moved from point A to B in their model. So a Domer model of growth is one such dynamic model of growth. So previous growth model based on the comparative static analysis, but in case of Harrer and Domer model, it is based on dynamic model. Okay, so this is the basic difference from the earlier growth models. Then Domer model basically based on the concept that what are the condition of economy's equilibrium. Okay, I'm going to repeat this again. Domer model basically based on the concept that what are the condition of economy's equilibrium. When economy is growing, means what are the timings when economy has the growing trend. In order to keep the economy in equilibrium, what are the requirements are, what the kind of requirements are required. Means this is basically the basic concept behind the Harrer-Domer model. This is the basic subject of this model, Keynesian static short-term model. The basic subject of this model is Keynesian static short-term model, that I have discussed that this theory is based on Keynesian state short-term model. Then they have made some amendments in that model, and they convert the static model into dynamic model, and also they include some determinants of a classical approach which is based on aggregate supply side. So basic fundamental or basic model that is behind their model is Keynesian static short-term model, is used by both Harrer and Domer. They dynamize the Keynesian model because growth model should be dynamic and long term. In actual, the growth model should be dynamic and long term. If a model is short term model, then we are not being able to analyze the growth in a real term. That means growth is a long run phenomena basically, that previously the economists or growth theorists based their analysis on short term model, which is have many limitations. So due to this reason, the model is dynamized and long run, so we can see the changes per period of time. Okay, due to this, like 1 year, like 1999, what is the growth rate, and in 2000, 2001, 2003, and so on. So the in case of dynamic model, we are able to see the changes per period of time. Okay. The changes, basically how these changes came during the year to year. So basically behind these changes are the due to the trend of explanatory variables, means those variables that are not in our control or not in the growth model, are not part of the growth model. So Keynesian's theory are basically the part of the explanatory variables, mean how what are the factors that basically affect our output, our income. So basically these are the variables that are explanatory variables that are determine the output or equilibrium of the economy. So basically in that case, output, income, full equilibrium, steady state depends on these explanatory variables. So Keynesian theory of income and employment tools are basically used in this model in order to explain the long-term requirements. Acha, the very important thing, or you can say the most important difference between Keynesian model and Harrer-Domer model is that Keynesian model is basically short-term model. Okay, and the other thing is Keynes factor in only one function of investment. Keynes factor in only one function of investment, and but in reality investment plays two role. Okay. First, it augments productive capacity of the economy. Two, it generates income. Okay. So here how so they basically include two roles of the investment. First, it augment productive capacity of the economy. This first role basically belongs to the aggregate supply side. So that means it reflect the approach of classical economists. Means from there they get the idea of augmenting productive capacity of the economy. The role of investment, the first role of investment basically belongs to the idea of classical economists. Means according to them, investment जो है basically it augment the productive capacity of the economy. In second case, second role of the investment that also discussed by Keynes, and his theory of income and employment basically based on this objective, this role of or functioning of investment, that is it generates income. So this role of investment basically comes under the umbrella of aggregate demand. Okay. So what does it mean? Means if there is investment in economy, and what does it mean by investment in economy? Means addition to the stock of capital, like for example machine, tools, building, etc. That is all capital stock. So whenever there is addition to these stuff, it means productive capacity of the economy would increase. So on the other hand, we have to keep in our mind that productive capacity of the economy increase due to the addition of capital, but when and how much it would increase, the output, it depends on the project length or the procedure, etc. and etc. But in case of income, income will increase side by side of capital addition, because you have to pay the cost of buying the inputs, labor, material, machine. Overall it would generate the income. So basically the results of income generation will come immediately as we start the project, but the basically the second function of investment, and the result of first function of investment come after some time, that investment augment the productive capacity of the economy. So in case of the result of second function, which is it generates income, which comes under the umbrella of aggregate demand, that result comes immediately as we start our project, but the result of first function of investment will come later. So that's why according to Keynes, in the long run we all dead. That's why he did not include the first function of investment, which is like investment augment the productive capacity, but he focused on the income generation part, which is basically the aggregate demand part. So he ignored the aggregate supply part, which is the first role of investment, and he include the second role of the investment. So that's because he believed that in the long run we all dead, so he focused on the second role of investment. So this is the reason Keynes did not factor in the first role of the investment, because this model is based on the short term. And on the other hand, productive capacity impact will come in the long run. So this basically the introduction, the previous history of growth models, and on the models, the Harrod-Domar model based on the Keynesian model. Basically it is the introduction of both Harrod and Domar model, how this model come into the picture of growth economics. So this is the basic introduction of Harrod and Domar model. And now we are discuss the, in case of Domar model, I'm going to discuss the in the next lecture I'm going to discuss I will start my lecture from the assumptions of Domar model, and now I will start with the assumptions of Harrod growth model. Okay, so this is our first part. In the next part I'm going to discuss the assumptions of Harrod model, and also the other topics that is related to that.